Yo, Challenger Coach in here, we are looking at Chobi's Rumble gameplay in the jungle. Now, these are his runes. He takes Dark Harvest with Cheap Shot, Eyeball Collection, Ultimate Hunter with Magical Footwear, and of course Cosmic Insight. Now, in here he starts his clear, but he starts it a bit weirdly. So, just to be clear, when you press your Q on Rumble, you don't want to spray, and you also want to take attack speed runes because of your passive and not double AP. Now the other thing is to be careful. We don't spray your flamethrower. Don't even kite at all because when you move back and forth, you're gonna lose flamethrower DPS and you can't kite it anywhere in time. Like you don't have to rush with the kiting. You can kite when you don't have your Q up. Now from the other hand, you should also like spamming your AD carry to leash. You need a double leash ideally on Rumble. This is bullshit. Like ideally you need a double leash. Just not great what they did. Now also one thing to be really clear with, you need to layer your flamethrower to the next camp. So say you need to know how to maintain your fury to be over 50 percentage and overheat at the correct time. So let's see if Chovy manages to manage his heat. Yeah, he does know how to do it. He is perfect. Use nice, very nice. Okay, he pops an E. Nice, well timed E. Now he just throws an E in. Oh, he messed up his seed. The thing is, you should be overheated at Wolves right now. So he messed up his heat, which you should be really careful with, right? So look, watch. He E'd, but he queued a little too early, and his heat started to decrease by 20. Now in here he could win E, but he didn't E in time. So it went down to 50, and now we are at 60, right? The issue with that is that if you don't overheat at Wolves, you're gonna take lots of damage, and your clear speed will be slower. So one of the issues was that he didn't get a double leash, of course. The other one that he didn't manage his heat properly. And now the issue is that we don't get the juicy overheated Q damage, which means we miss out 100 magic damage on these wolves, which would matter a lot. And we also don't get the Empower D, which reduces MR by a lot, which matters for your Q DPS and also it deals more damage. So this a little bit sucks. And also I don't like how he's flamethrowering. So you don't kite when you Q. Don't ever kite when you Q. Stay in one spot. When the Q is over, you're gonna kite, but you can't just like you can't spray your Q any. Like I don't care. You don't spray your Q anywhere with Rumble until you don't finish your Q. You're not moving. So it's a bit unhealthy and it's a bit slow. In here he could ban actually eat a big raptor because it's hard to angle an E through these raptors when he Qs. So he should ban E to reduce its MR and deal some damage of course. And then he should overheat to focus out the big raptor. This is a bit bad because the thing is when you have 80% heat on Rumble, you can both use your E and Q. Because if you use your E, your heat goes up to 90 heat, then you can use your Q as well. So you would actually use two abilities at once. You could even use a second D if you have two E's, of course. But depends on the situation. Because his clear is insanely slow and really invadable. That's my only issue, of course. That is really slow and invadable. Okay, so in here he finished his clear. Now, what he is looking for is a level 4 gank on the Pantheon. Because he has clear vision that Kha'Zix is not here, he will actually aim to go for an all-in. He manages it correctly right now. Okay, now watch out how he plays. He plays it out slowly because Pantheon could flash. He uses his E and he positions around his flash. He doesn't like commits, he positions around his flash. Now he Qs, presses his Q, so he wins time, meantime he gets stunned. And in here he doesn't even have to flash, neither action, probably action didn't have to flash either. Now in here he can choose to freeze or shove for action. For action is a bit more ideal if he shoves because he has no TP. So Pantheon gonna TP back. There is a possibility of reganking, but I would rather shove the way with action, honestly. because Rumble's Q is really insane at like shoving waves, even though it deals reduced damage to minions. Uh, if you're over 50 percentage, then of course it will deal a lot of damage. So in his case scenario, I would ban give a shove to Akshan, because now he gonna get kind of stuck in lane with Pantheon, and possibly at some point Pantheon will dive him. Maybe he hits in a Q, stacks up his passive, then dives Akshan, or it's not really the best wave state for Akshan to be in. Now Akshan gonna heal up to some degree, but still, if Pantheon hits in some Qs, he can look for a dive. So it's a bit of a fucky situation. The only thing that kinda justifies it that he hovers topside, so he could maybe regank, but Pantheon supposedly already warded it as he should, right? So that's... wow. This is a bit forced. Akshan is out of position, he has his E up. If he sidesteps his E, which is really likely, then there is no gank. So he's wasting a bit of his... there's no way to... no way. So this was a bit of a waste of time. So even though like he's a good player, he doesn't know too well how to, of course, play with Rumble well, and he doesn't necessarily know Rumble's limits. He's still sort of a beginner with Rumble. He tries to master it, the champion, because in this patch he's really strong. It was really a pick or ban in MSI, right? Then also next patch he will be even stronger, just because the AP AD carry items are getting buffed, and Rumble Z reduces them more, which means that they gain additional DPS value. And aside of that, they also get the other thing, how is it called? Um, Force of Nature is getting nerfed. And as runes, like I like more First Strike, honestly. I always go First Strike in the jungle. I feel like it's way more carry than Dark Harvest. That's my opinion. You can deal more damage, it's more carry. Generating gold means a lot on a champion like Rumble. I usually go Hex Slash as well on Rumble, but this is Joey's preference. I feel like though that First Strike is better. I mean, here he's clearing, there's not much to say. Bot was ungankable, he didn't go bot. Drake is a bit coin flippy, and it will likely not have prio because he has no mana. So what he's trying to do right now is pretty much just like trying to get another top gank of after because like mid is pretty much just ungankable until Rakan arrives, but now they're trying to force something. And will this work out? Oh, that was such a good flash. Insane. Insane flash. From the other hand, I also always go Dark Seal early on Rumble, as early as possible. Like Hextech Alternator is a bit of a bait. Like if you can get like Dark Seal and Blasting one is just better than this. Depends how much money you have, of course. I didn't check how much did he have. He's just CSing and trying to set up a dive soon with the... or no, they're actually looking to wall in the Kazakhs, The only issue with this is that they have a Twisted Fate, and Talia is not in position to intercept, so it's a bit flippy what they did, but let's see if Talia can... So they are actually turning it around. They're actually turning it over, He's trying to slow them down and help a teens a bit, but he can't really comprehend the situation itself. So what he's doing right now is just like pretty much just sitting around throwing an E. Oh. And he got punished for that, So Kha'Zix flashed on him, unfortunately. And Talia also gets... oh, Talia also gets picked up. So it's a bit of a unfortunate early game. Now of course shit happens, so we need to move on. His choice of an item, he goes apparently Night Harvester. I usually go Proto Belt. The only time I go Night Harvester on Rumble is when you pretty much just like want to spam your ultimates because they don't have the best escapes out of it, or your teammates have clear CC setup. In tier they have some ways to like disengage from Rumble's ult, and they don't have the best CC. In those type of scenarios I wouldn't recommend the ult spam Night Harvest build path. I like Proto Belt more. It allows him to also like dodge from Nautilus, which can be really deadly, right? There are certain things that allows Rumble to do, such as gap closing and dodging abilities, right? Maybe if Twisted Fate ults, he can also get Belt out of his gold card range if it so happens, right? There are scenarios where it's really useful, or say per moment you don't just catch up in time with your flamethrower, then you proto build forward, it helps you just to get a bit of a range, you know. Also it provides magic penetration, which is really synergetic with Rumble C, of course. Um, Looks like a good angle. Good ult. Good ult. I would E ult, but you can E and cancel your E animation with ult, but let's see if he manages to... Nice, well played on his part. Good smite and good steal. Okay. After I even rush Sork shoes with Dark Seal on Rumble, so it's easier to get ganks done when my teammates are not the best at setting. Oh? No way. Oh, no way. Yeah, Kha'Zix realized. Kha'Zix realized he's in trouble. I was like, that Kha'Zix is probably smart and that... Oh, but this is a bit greedy what he does, right? They got a Pantheon with his ult, they got a Twisted Fate. It's a little bit greedy what he does because he could get double collapsed, but better that he disengages. So in here not much will happen, of course. If he picks up some camps, maybe looks for a mid gank, top gank, but not much to do right now, and he also has his item right now, so he is looking for a top gank, of course, because he's overextending the Pantheon. Pretty much what happens, he just gets picked up. Does he? He does, supposingly. Yes, yeah, he does. Oh, really good recall. Oh, but his recall got cancelled by Pantheon Scorch. That's why his recall got cancelled, if anybody wonders. But it was a really good recall because it would spare him time as well, like 2 seconds, 1 second, right? I usually do it when I'm doing cracks, so you spare a teensy bit of a time. I usually don't recall on kills, like normally I wouldn't recommend it to anybody, but you can recall on kills if you feel like, but it's not recommended by me, just kill it, make it sure. Those 1 or 2 seconds matter, but not that much to resist the kill, honestly. Oh, his teammates are getting something done. Oh, this Kha'Zix is depressed now. Oh, no. Oh, actually he's really good at escaping, okay. Okay. Oh, again he flashes. Thought it's a angle, but apparently it's not. Okay. So apparently, what is he doing right now? He's just forcing a mid push, He went for a Herald. Maybe you could go for a better one on top lane, because Pantheon already showed off that he pretty much likes to get camped non-stop by Rumble, so likely after killing Pantheon he could get a full plate, could get a full tower value instead of like 2 plates, so maybe arguably top Herald would be a bit better than mid Herald. Just because Pantheon is so easy to kill as well. They tried hard, but they didn't respect the Pantheon's ult, of course, and the collapse around the bot laners. Okay. Okay. So let's check his items. He went for his short Sork shoes, Night Harvester. Of course, I forgot to mention his choice of jungle item. He went for damage. Often I go for it, but the speed one is also really good depending on the game. Again, both are totally fine. Okay, so what's going on in here? He E's, he Q's. Very nice. So it picks up the whole thing. So he's looking to force something. He says he's easy, and now he gets cold card. So he's finishing his item, of course. Like he's getting his oh, oh. XP hit up just a bit way too hard. At this point of the game, it's a little bit comp dependent as well on how you play Rumble. Now he has a you know a Huskar Rakan at least to set up a good ultimate for him, but generally his team lacks CC, right? The way the carries, then Talia not the most reliable form of CC, right? So it usually means that it's not really the best time to be Rumble. Like he's good in the mid late game when your teammates have CC. Without it, he's a bit worse. He's still useful, but he's a bit worse. Now, of course, it's still gonna be great, right? But I feel like without CC, it's less so like viable. Okay. So let's skip in here. He picks up the Raptors. Not much to say right now. He just gets 3 of his camps, and maybe he's looking for a Drake. What he could do is just arrive before the enemy team at the Drake, because his team already has Prio. So he can also look for an ultimate, because when he arrives at Drake, he can look for some really good ultimate angles, just because in the jungle usually you get better ult angles than in lane. Areas are usually more tighter. So let's see. He ults, but does he get value out of it? He does get a Pantheon. He gets a he even AoE'd the Nautilus. I didn't see it in time. He didn't go Dark Seal the whole game though. It's something you must have. In fact, Magi is insane as well. And the other mistake he did, he went for Shadow Flame second instead of Zonyi, which is really insane this game if you look at the enemy comp. Or you could arguably get Rebadon. And I say Rebadon because this champion has really high AP ratios, so this champion does value a lot having extra AP. I usually go Dark Seal. I usually go Rebadon second ideally. Zonyi is great this game, of course. Depends, like if you wanna go defensive, go Zonyi. Depends on your playstyle. Now, it isn't like completely correct or incorrect to go any of those items. They just provide something differently, right? Or what I tried as well, Cosmic Drive, but usually I take Cosmic Drive if I'm ahead and I have sort of a team that has a lot of CC, so I want to like spam my ults, but usually not that much. I rarely go Cosmic, but the speed feels to be good as well. Demonic is more so like the generic choice over Shadow Flame. Shadow Flame is kinda good if you can one shot, but at the end of the day, Rebadon always gonna be better, it just costs more, right? It's just like 600 gold more, so it means that it takes more time, of course, but I would always go for it over Shadow Flame, just because Rumble overpens, and often like Shadow Flame doesn't provide enough value if you have Rocket Belt, or even so like he just spends too much MR, so the thing is Shadow Flame's Magic Band doesn't go down to negative levels, so that's that. But of course if your Mythic doesn't provide magic penetration, then it's not that bad. But let me just reveal the whole map, right? For example, this guy says like 40 MR, right? Let's say he hits an E into a squishy champion, right? His E is supposed to like penetrate armor by 50%. I mean, more by 50 percentage, and even more if you hit the second one, right? Now, 50 percentage of like let's say 40 in Kaisa's case is 20, right? And Sork shoes already pens MR by 18, right? So you don't get complete value out of Shadow Flame just because your E just penetrates too much MR, right? So you only get like 2 extra magic pen from the Shadow Flame itself. So it's not too worth actually. It feels like it's always the bait item, even on Gragas people build it in unnecessary times when there are better options. The issue is it doesn't like scales anywhere either, so it has problems, honestly. So let's see what do they do here. So let's go to his team as well, of course, which I should then go probably from the beginning of the game. And let's pick him up, you know, there's not much to say. It's pretty cool. The interesting thing is he has Ultimate Hunter, which I like, and Eyeball Collection, which is great, but this is a bit meh, because you're not constantly trading in the jungle. But I guess there aren't like better options to deal damage in the jungle, right? Than Cheap Shot. Like in the Cheap Shot 3, are there even better options? I don't even know. There is Bloodlust and there is the other thing, right? Not too many like good options in that 3. So what's he doing? He's all in the Twisted Fate, huh? That's why I like to go for Strike or first Strike as well, right? But Hexflash and Protobelt like just like would give you the edge to maybe all in him or get the trade on him, but likely he wouldn't die because he just ever frosts. So they just all in, rush the Kaisa, and then they kill the other guy. Oh my god, hell yeah. And at this point the outcome of the game is pretty much like one side that they just end the game. They just finish the game, there's not much to say. They just like finish slowly. So that's it from now, have a nice day.